Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I have an exciting project to work on. So we're gonna be taking a little short break from the holiday content and we're gonna be working on an extreme kitchen makeover. If you guys saw my recent bathroom makeover that I did for Romeo's sister Suzette and her wife, it was a very farmhouse, shiplap style. We just completely transformed that bathroom. I just don't even know how else to say it. It turned out so beautiful. But there are also many other parts of their house that we wanted to tackle. But next up, we definitely wanted to tackle their kitchen. So like Romeo, Suzette is also a chef. She spends a lot of time in the kitchen and it was very dark and heavy. There's also a lack of sunlight that comes into the house in general, but it's specifically where the kitchen is. So we need to brighten it up a little bit. So we're taking inspiration from what we did in the bathroom and bringing it into the rest of the house using similar paint colors, similar knob choices, just a similar vibe to totally transform this space. And I will see you guys at their house. So I'm so excited to get started on this kitchen because I feel like we can do so many things with it just to make it feel more bright and more open. One thing that's making it feel really heavy is how dark the cabinets are. Great renter-friendly hack is to actually cover them with contact paper. Any kind of materials that you're picking for a room, you've got to have options. You got to see what they're going to look like in your space with the lighting that exists. We're going with light, feel more open, more bright, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to go pure white or an off-white so that we can see all of the elements together. You're gonna visualize all this stuff. White contact paper on the cabinets with subway tile on the backsplash, either gold handles or matte black handles. So I definitely love this combination just to tie all the appliances in. And this gold has just a different look. It's a little more feminine, I feel like, in here with these elements. So I'm thinking I'm leaning black if we go with this option. Same subway tile, but here is the off-white version. I hope this is coming up on camera, but I think that this is lending a little bit of a pink undertone. Although I love off-white, I don't think that this is it. Okay, so now that we've made our decision, I think the biggest part of this entire kitchen makeover is going to be recovering these cabinet doors. So once I got one of the cabinet doors down, I wanted to practice before I gave you guys any tips. Roll out your paper, here's a drawer, put your drawer on there. The backs have grids so you can kind of figure out where to cut it. Mine is 3 lines in on each side. Cut 3 lines down like so. And then grab the sides like this so your paper stays where it's supposed to be on your drawer or your cabinet. And flip it over and put your arm on it so it stays in place like that. So come over here to the edge and start peeling it back and make sure your arm doesn't move because you want it to stay in place. Pull the paper off the back enough to get it underneath and then pull it tight so it's still straight. And then your little tool, and then you can smooth it out. Then it stays straight. So basically I thought of this as wrapping a present. So for the ends, I slit in on each side so that I could actually wrap the top and the bottom of the drawer before I wrap the sides. So you're just gonna be using a combination of your fingers, just like a gift card or a credit card that you have, just to make sure that you're getting all of the air bubbles out of the contact paper. Basically, we're cutting into the contact paper so it lays down flatter. So what I'll do now is I'll leave this border. I'll come back in with another piece right on top that doesn't go all the way to the edge. That way it looks completely finished. Officially the next day, but we got everything cleaned out and there's still many cabinet doors that need to be wrapped. But I want to get the paint on the wall and make sure that it's going to dry so we can kind of move on to the next step. We're going to be using the same Clarkson Kensington paint color in Haven of Coziness that they kind of used as an accent in the rest of the house. And we also used in the bathroom video on the bottom of the vanity on the cabinetry part. This wall is actually already painted that color, but we just need to do a little bit of a touch up. We're also going to paint here because we're going to do some shelving. And we're gonna wrap the color around where there's a natural break. So we're gonna kind of do this side wall as well. Painting is done. It's just drying a little bit on the other side. I had extra subway tile removable wallpaper from my kitchen. I was like, well, we're doing such a small little area, why not use this instead of getting new it? So we're reusing. So we're gonna be putting subway tile here. So I didn't paint this, and 2 places on the other side by the stove. So we should have just enough. Okay, it is officially the next day and we're making progress, but we are not there yet. I have made some touch-ups on the wall and we still have cabinets to cover. I feel like with this contact paper, it's a great renter-friendly option, but it's very time-consuming. So at some point in the process, you get to a point where you're like, this better pay off or this better be worth it. But I think it definitely is. The cabinets are looking great so far. So while we wait for some touch-up paint to dry, I'm gonna share with you guys the art that I picked out for this space. So thank you to Desenio for sponsoring this video and giving us some amazing prints for a different type of space than I've done before. So normally I put Desenio art as a gallery wall in bedrooms. So I haven't really done it in a kitchen yet. And they have beautiful kitchen prints of different root vegetables and fruits and just like a kitchen converter measurement chart type pictures. So I got several different prints to kind of pair together in different parts of the kitchen. So we're gonna put 2 here at the back of the wall, and then 1 here on the side of the kitchen, 1 on the shelves. And although we're not doing the dining room in this video, it definitely may be a future makeover. So I wanted to get them a big piece of art for the back of the wall to kind of just tie both of the areas in. So I got this beautiful black and white pear picture that we're also going to put a mat around and then also frame it in the same black metal frames that I got for the rest of the kitchen. Desenio offers high quality Scandinavian prints in so many different styles and colors for basically any room in your house. So you can see that I've done it in a bedroom and more of a bohemian vibe, and also in my office / guest bedroom in more of a Scandinavian light neutral vibe. And they also introduce tons of new collections all the time, so it's exciting to see what they're creating with their amazing photography and just overall look and collections that they do. Desenio ships to countries worldwide, including the US, in 5 days. So like always, Desenio is going to give us an extra discount of 10% on top of their already 35% that they're running on their site right now. And it's valid until midnight November 30th. So I'll leave all of that information in the description box below so that you guys can click and shop and look at all of the amazing prints that they have to offer for your home, and also all of the ones that I'm putting in this kitchen. 2 of our Desenio prints, these 2, which are so beautiful. It's the artichoke, with the dark background, and then the ginger root. Look how pretty that is with the like natural paper behind it. I thought they were so pretty, and I want to put 2 of them here. They're a perfect size. You don't want to overwhelm things, I feel like. And what they already had here was this bar, which was super cute, I thought, with all of their like pots and aprons and stuff. So I felt like the 2 pieces of art and this bar would look really good here. There's not really enough space. All of the cabinetry is so close to the wall that there's no space for additional storage here. So hanging something like this on a wall to put your pots on kind of doubles as storage that is very compact that you can have when there's cabinets next to your wall. And then it'll act as storage, so we can hang some cutting boards, an apron, some of the pots and pans, and it'll just very slim storage if you don't have a lot of space. This is another little kind of DIY shelving unit situation that I wanted to work on. So I found this pegboard at the thrift store for $2 and maybe 85 cents. And it was actually a little bit longer. It had 1 more peg on it, but I needed it to be a certain size to go here because my plan is to put it here and then put a shelf here on top. Also for the shelves, you guys may recognize these shelves and these brackets. I just recently took them down from my bedroom. I had these over my vanity and they just weren't working for my space. So instead of going out buying more stuff, more wood to make shelves, I'm just gonna reuse them. And I just cut them to size, exactly the size that I needed to, and we'll reuse the brackets as well. I had to have a little brainstorming session. So when it got to the shelves, in theory, I was gonna put this right on top and use the original little wall brackets that I had. Well, if you put the wall brackets underneath like this, it separates and puts a space between the hook bar that I love and the piece of wood, which I don't like. And you can't really do this above like that and put it on the wall, because then it's not really structurally sound like that, pulling on the screws. And if you set anything on top of the shelf, it may be uneven. So you can't do that. And I was like, well, what am I gonna do now? So this is the little piece of wood that I cut off of that hook. So putting this shelf right on top and actually screwing the shelf into the hook bar, and then taking this one and putting it over here for extra support. So I'm gonna take this off and build all of these pieces together, just because it's easier, because my drill will hit the wall if I try and screw it in, and then hang it back up, and then we should have it. And then for the other shelf, we'll just use my old L brackets, the black ones, because it'll tie in everything still. So underneath this plate used to be a plug for a landline phone, which they never used. And a great hack is that you can buy these really cheaply at the hardware store and paint it the same color as your wall, and it completely camouflages it like it was almost never there, and it just looks a lot more polished. Wow, you guys, we just finished the last door, putting it up, making the contact paper perfect. Okay, to be honest, this was a process. If you have some time and you have always wanted to do this and you have patience for it, I highly recommend it for a renter-friendly option. It is time consuming. I was worried about it not paying off, but it paid off. This feels like a completely different space now. It's so much brighter. We've got pretty cabinets, we've got pretty shelves, and really pretty art to go in here. Now we gotta figure out everything else. I feel like this is a great place for like this coffee machine, some cookbooks, and some canisters and stuff. So trays or cutting boards, or even like a piece of slate like this, to corral some things together. I've done that like on coffee tables. I've done it in my kitchen. When you have a lot of stuff on your counters, it helps to kind of break it up and make it make more sense, make it look better together. And since Romeo's sister is a chef, she's got tons of great cookbooks, but these are the ones I had her go through and pick out the ones that she was actually using the most right now. So I wanted those to be out here on the counter, accessible for her. Since there's enough space here on the end of the slate, we'll go ahead and put their Nespresso machine here, since it's close to a plug. Whenever I can, I like to use cutting boards or pictures or something to cover plugs, especially if they're unused throughout the kitchen. So I'm gonna put this here. This is also a great spot for some canisters, like the Nespresso pods, and colorful orzo pasta. And we can kind of group them together right here. So the addition of the shelves are gonna be so much fun to style, because that wasn't something that they already had in here. So it's kind of acting like additional storage to get things off of the countertops, and also be pretty and decorative and fill out that space a little more. So we have one more piece of art. This beautiful fig print from Desenio. I love this one, and it'll bring in a little bit of depth and color. So we'll put that one here on the top. If you guys saw my vlog, I recently found these amber little jug glass things. They were $2 at the flea market. So beautiful. I felt like it would be pretty to bring in that deep, rich color, but we can put some dried eucalyptus in it. And then I was digging around in their cabinets and I found some butcher's twine, which had some of the fig color in it. I thought it would be really cool up here too. For the next shelf, sometimes they make Nespresso coffee, but sometimes they use a pour over. So I felt like this was a perfect spot to put kind of those essentials. It's accessible, they can take it down when they want to make pour over coffee. I have this beautiful little pour over kettle. It's stainless steel and natural, so it's matching with everything that we're doing. And these beautiful ceramic little coffee espresso cups. They bring in that like organic, rich kind of look here. Still working in the rules of threes. You see how I'm putting kind of like groups of 3 things on each of the shelves? It brings more balance to your eye and makes it look better to you. So the little pegboard, I've always wanted to do one in a space, and especially a kitchen, because you get to hang pretty but functional pieces off of it. So I brought some eucalyptus. This will be kind of our more decorative piece, and just some jute twine left over from another project. And I'm just gonna wrap some of them together, like different pieces and strands, and just gonna tie a knot at the top so that the eucalyptus is hung upside down, and then tie it off in a knot with a loop, and then put it over one of the little pegs, make it look a little more decorative. Finish off the little hook. I don't want to put too much and overload them, because figure out what they need there to be accessible. But I figured right over the sink you need some little hanging dish scrubby. How cute is this? It's just natural. And this is a veggie brush, so when they're cleaning their vegetables in their sink, they'll be able to brush them. And I thought that they would be so cute here. Well, that side of the kitchen looks really good. So originally in the kitchen over on the other side, they had this magnetic strip for the cutting knives. And so we needed to bring that back in here somehow. Over there was really hard to access, but you still want it in a place that's not dangerous, obviously. Felt like maybe this would be a good place for it. And then also here could be utensils. That'll kind of help cover that plug too when it's not in use. Over on this side, I thought it was gonna be a perfect place for some oil and vinegar, maybe some pinch salt that they need, dark green glass oil bottles so they can fill this with their oil, and then this with their vinegar, and then a bowl of pretty pinch salt. For the island, I brought him a present from my kitchen. So Romeo used to have this in our kitchen, and we just don't have the right kitchen for this big of a like a butcher block cutting board. It's huge and it's heavy, so it actually ended up on top of my fridge. So we cleaned it up. It'll be really pretty here. So for our purposes, we'll just put some avocado and a candle for now. But this is a cutting board. So we definitely need a rug. I wanted something that was going to be plush and comfortable, but also like stain resistant, really easy to clean. So I found this one, and it was like stripes. It was called Farmhouse, it literally called Farmhouse Stripe. It was a good size. It was kind of a hard size to fill in here. Final step, more lighting. As soon as I turn these studio lights off, it's going to get not as bright, but it's definitely a step in the right direction, not having so much dark cabinetry. Just like I have the puck lights in my closet, I got some rectangle ones. Comes with this little remote, and they'll stick right underneath each of the cabinets and light it up. I like to put lights towards the front of cabinets if you're gonna be doing them underneath, because then it lights up the front of your stuff. If you put them, I'll turn it on. If you put it in the back, it just lights up the wall. You see that? But if you put it in the front, it starts to light up your actual stuff. Like that. That's kind of fancy. I kind of like it. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I cannot tell you how much work that contact paper was, but also how much of a payoff it had in the end. It was totally worth 4 days of covering all of those cabinets. It was worth it. So if you guys have the time, I definitely suggest trying it out. As always, I'll leave all of the links for the products that I used throughout this video in the description box so that you guys can check them out if you saw anything that you liked. And I hope you guys are enjoying all of the content, the holiday content, this makeover. We're also doing something fun next week in my living room. So I'm so very excited to get started with that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. It helps the channel so much. And if you guys are not already subscribed to my channel, I post, well, me and Kinsley, post new thrift flips, room makeovers, DIY projects, holiday DIYs, everything in between every Sunday on my channel. So hit that subscribe button and the little bell notification so you know exactly when I upload every Sunday. And will we see you next week? Will we see them? Are you gonna say bye? Bye, guys. You've been running around like crazy, but you gonna say hi?